Hello and welcome to LitLondonLatest. I'm Sikanda and today I have with me Jess and Jasper.
Hiya.
Hey.
Today we're going to bring you the latest on all the London music scene, and we're also going to bring you some of the biggest stories from around the world. We'll have music from Kojo Funds, from Stefflon Don and also from Drake. So stay with us and you'll get all the latest music news.
Hello.
Big news for all you Stefflon Don fans out there. She just released her first ever freestyle on American radio. Here's a bit of it now. Stefflon is one of the many British artists trying to break into America. So, what does it take for a British artist to break into America? Jasper, what do you think it is?
I think it's always going to be difficult. Americans are so used to exporting their culture rather than importing it. So it would be very hard to actually get a foot on the ground there. There's only been a couple of bands through history who managed to do it.
Jess?
Well, I disagree because when we look at the indie scene, there are lots of British artists starting up in Nashville that kind of showcase their music, get record deals, and then they come back to London, and that's how they secure their management and ultimately their fan base over here. But it seems that with the rap sector, it's a lot more closed off, and also Stefflon Don is a female rap artist, so I don't think that kind of, it's uphill struggle for her kind of all the way, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from with that. So you speak about Americans exporting their culture, but not importing from other places. Do you think that's the main reason why we see so many American artists in the British charts, but not as many British artists in the American charts?
Yeah, I just think like British rap goes down quite badly in the States because they prefer their own style.
Yeah, you see it on the reaction videos, to be fair. I saw a lot of them recently reacting to British rap recently, and they all hate our style. But like you said, with the guitar music, the crossover is so much more clear, and they really do it. So obviously Arctic Monkeys recently headlined South by Southwest. I think it was only a couple of years ago they did that. So why do you think it is that indie music is so much more receptive over there?
I don't know. I think it's because with indie, especially when it's male, especially when it's male artists as well, you've got the whole kind of cute British guy with the guitar thing going on that I think plays very well over there, which it has, since the Beatles, really. I think that's where it came from. And I just think with rap, because like you said, it's so well kind of anchored in the American music scene, I just don't think they see the need to be importing our stuff, really.
Well, you guys can also get involved in this debate. You can feel free to leave a message on our website. And also, you can check out Stefflon Don's freestyle yourself. We'll leave the link down below. Kojo Funds has been back in the charts recently. He just released his new track. It's called Check, and it's with Ray. Here's a little bit of it now. So, guys, what do you make of the new track by Kojo?
So I was kind of excited at the beginning because it has the same beginning as Craig David's 7 Days.
It does.
Which is one of my all-time favourites. But then kind of as you get into the song and you listen to the lyrics, the lyrics didn't really blow me away.
Yeah.
And it's quite formulaic, you have like a sexy female voice and then some like Spanishy guitar. And yeah, I think we've kind of seen a lot of that. Also, it kind of sounds... Because it's Kojo feat Ray, right? It kind of sounds like the other way around.
I completely agree with that. I was just it sounded like she was doing this beautiful melody, and they just stuck him in.
Yeah, he just
like
in.
Oh, here's a couple of like bars from him. Here, there, just liven it up. How about you? What did you think about it?
Yeah, I mostly agree. I mean, I appreciate that they tried to put a different spin on it with the Spanish bit, but it just seems like a
it seems like a copy of what's the one we were talking about earlier? Actually, was it Camila
Havana?
Camila Cabello's Havana with Young Thug. I think they did the same thing there, where they just...
That's actually well done, though. That actually has a sort of a Cuban
prefer
vibe to it. And this is just this little Spanish sample that doesn't really make sense. And
it sounds like a B-Tech version, doesn't it? It's not like the off-brand, not quite there. Well, you guys can tell us what you think about it yourself. You can feel free to check it out. That's Kojo Funds Check, and it'll be featuring Ray, and it's in the charts right now.
Hello.
Grime Daily just released a new article covering the Grime for Corbyn movement. Grime for Corbyn was started last year in response to a snap election called by Theresa May. Jeremy Corbyn got a lot of support from the grime scene after he did a number of interviews with big grime acts such as JME and also Skepta. So, we're going to discuss now whether it's right for politicians to use music in this way. Jasper, do you think it's acceptable for politicians to use music as a medium to reach voters?
I think there's a difference between politicians using the music and musicians putting out something political. I mean, obviously, music is like an artistic thing. It's their view of the world, how they see it. I mean, if this would be a political jingle, I'd be against it. But I think because it went the other way, it's fine.
Jess?
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, kind of watching the news isn't the only way to reach people politically. Since, you know, the 60s was big for kind of getting a political message across. So I think that's kind of what's been done here, really. And it's important. It reaches people that kind of probably feel forgotten by the news, and people who are stereotyped as, you know, not following politics. So, no, I think it was...
I'll tell you what
really
my
good.
issue with this was, right, is, okay, I really appreciate the fact that he's trying to involve more people in the political sphere, but I don't think that was his driving force. I think it was an attempt to sort of build this image of Jeremy Corbyn, where he's trying to see a man of the people, he's trying to talk to disenfranchised. I don't think there's anything in his manifesto which clearly seemed to help these people who were suffering. These people complaining about tuition fees, they're complaining about NHS, all this. But I didn't see clear manifesto statements which seemed to support these people. It was as if he just came, did a few interviews, smiled, and then just in turn used this for support. It seemed more of a media exercise for me. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it seemed to me.
Yeah, it's a clash of motives. I mean, obviously, Corbyn is there to win voters, not necessarily talk about the issues. That, I mean, it was part of his campaign as well, but not necessarily at that point. And I mean, if the artist wants something political and he's just there on campaign, you obviously going to have that clash.
Do you think, as a larger point, do you think it's okay for music to be politicised because it is so influential, obviously, these days?
Well, I think in the case of grime and garage, I think that in this case it was okay, just because it is like, these are people that always seem to be left behind, and I think the intention was good, but then whether he actually follows through with that intention, that's another thing.
Completely.
But I guess we'll see in 3 years' time if he gets re-elected.
Well, you can actually read the original article, Grime Daily. We'll leave a link below. It's just been released.
Hello.
But you can also tell us what you think about it. We'll leave a Twitter poll up. Is it okay for music to become politicised? Let us know. Don Broco just released their new album. It's called Technology. The up-and-coming band has released their lead single. It's called Coming to LA. Here's a little bit now. So Jasper, what do you think about this?
I loved it. I mean, it's a little heavier than what we had before on the show here, but I think it succeeds in mixing different influences on it. And I have to say, like, the clip's absolutely mad. I loved it.
Yeah, the video is crazy. Like, what did you make of it?
Well, like, I wasn't sure when it first started, because in the video it starts with a completely different song, and it kind of sounded a bit Franz Ferdinand-y. But then when it got into it, I really liked it. I liked the kind of mix of genres. But it's probably not something I would listen to at home by myself, but I did appreciate it.
See, I really, really hated it. About 5 seconds, I actually remember saying out loud, "Oh my God, I fucking hate this shit." I was like, what is this? Because I just wasn't expecting it. Then it kicked on, and I was like, right, now I suddenly got really, really into it. Like, it really grows on you, and I'm not really sure what that heavy bit's called. Like, you obviously know more about heavy rock, but like, is that heavy rock? Is that metal? Is that garage? What is that like?
I mean, you can always
garage,
go. You can always go heavier. You can always go heavier. There's no drop D tunings and proper metal stuff in there, but it's definitely heavy.
Well, I tell you what, it also bumps in the car, because I was playing that all day long. On the way back, I was driving and just on repeat again and again and again. But yeah, I tell you what I really liked about Don Broco is in this track, they released a couple of songs before, and it just sounded a lot like amateurish. I know that sounds quite bad, but like
it was production.
It was just it used to be a lot like his voice has changed. It sounds more like clean in this one. Before it was a bit like holding a tennis racket in your garage going, "I'm in a rock band," that kind of vibe. But it just wasn't.
Still does it.
Yeah, you still do it, but it's not my kind of vibe. So I was just really happy they cleaned up.
Yeah,
but,
the voice was good. Yeah, it was very
Let us
clean.
know what you think about Don Broco's new track.
Hello.
Apple has announced that they're going to finally put an end to their acclaimed festival, Apple Music Festival. The tech giant has claimed that they want to concentrate on different ventures, whilst not actually leaving the music industry. So what does this mean for music in London? Are people getting priced out? Jess? Jasper?
Well, there's been an influx of music festivals in London, hasn't there? I mean, this year, so there's a new one, brand new one, All Points East in Victoria Park. It's like £60 for an afternoon or something. And we've got Love Box, we've got Field Day. There's so many now. So, and whereas when you go to outside London, it's like £200 for maybe 4 days of music. So I guess, yeah, you can't, it's no longer sustainable in London to have, unfortunately, free music festivals. I don't see what they'll be getting, what Apple are getting out of it, really.
It's going to stay that way, though. I mean, London prices are insane across the spectrum.
Yeah.
And you need to get your investment out. I mean, it's obviously it's a shame, like people not having that access anymore to free music, which was really good about the festival, but I can't see it changing.
I just think people in London especially are suffering more than anyone else. And I mean, you were saying how you actually are going to is it a techno concert later in the year?
Yeah, I'm going to Houghton Houghton Festival in August. So that was just under £200. It's 4 days. It's 24-hour music. Okay. So there's loads of artists, and there's not just artists. There's art as well. There's like it's a whole massive thing, really. Yeah. Whereas this is like £60.
I'll tell you what I won't miss though is Apple Music Festival, right? Because the way they did it was basically they released the tickets via like contest. So obviously you're not going to be going in a big group of people. You're going to be going like maybe one person or that. So no one really knew each other. So the vibe was dead. And I remember there's a video. I didn't go to this year one, but it was what's his name? It's Alex Zane, the lead of Arctic Monkeys. Alex Turner, there we go. He was saying, can you guys liven up? Because literally everyone was so quiet. And then he dedicated the song Snap Out of It to them, apparently. I mean, I wasn't there, but that's what people tell me. And I'm like...
It's also been fights. I remember Dave Grohl sending people away for fighting.
Oh, really?
Wow.
I mean, if you really don't...
Well, there you go. Maybe it's not as much of a loss as we first thought. There you go.
What was the age range, just out of interest, of the crowd?
I can't remember. Like, when I was there, it was a good mix, but it was mostly younger people. Like, I think it used to be called iTunes Festival, and it wasn't really aimed at like the older generation. But, well, you can tell us what you think. Apple Music Festival is obviously officially over now, but tell us what you think.
Hello.
CHVRCHES have released their new track. It's called Get Out. Here's a little bit of it now. The latest track is from their new EP, which will be coming out very soon. Guys, what do you think?
I really liked it. I mean, it's familiar sound. Like, they didn't change too much, but still, like the songs are dynamic. It's catchy. Yeah, all good.
Fair enough. Is it all good?
Not really.
That was bad noise. Well, you know when someone starts with it's never going to be a good one.
Like, no, I was waiting for it to pick up, and then it did. But I just think it kind of sounds a bit like Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne.
But with like an electro kind of twist. I mean, it picks up in the chorus. It's catchy. It's fine. But like, I wouldn't listen to it once.
I really found it so repetitive. If you've listened to anything CHVRCHES have released before, I honestly could not distinguish it from other. Yeah. I did literally click twice because I was like, "Are you sure this is a new track?"
It's their sound. It's
I know, but I just feel like an artist needs to evolve slightly. I don't want to hear the same album just slightly off key on the next one. I want to hear something new. Like, even if it's a different synth, if it's a different pitch, like this, honestly, you could change the name with another one. I wouldn't be able to tell a difference. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's the one they released in 2014, isn't it? Like, literally, it makes no difference to me. But
as long as it's catchy, it works though.
Well, fair enough. Well, maybe
I think.
well, you guys can tell us what you think, and is CHVRCHES Get Out a good single or not?
Hello.
So now jumping from London music news to a bit of worldwide news, Famous Dex has been back in the news. Famous Dex was actually admitted from the XXL freshman list last year after new footage emerged of him hitting his girlfriend. The XXL freshman list is awarded to all the up-and-coming and top artists that year. It's very prestigious. Old artists have been Wiz Khalifa, J. Cole, Meek Mill, so obviously he was very angry not to be on there. 12 months on, and Dex has finally apologised. He apologised for the rude words he said and also for his actions again. So, is this enough? Should he be back on? Guys?
So, no, I don't think he should be featured. I mean, awards like these, they set examples of what is and what isn't acceptable in the industry. And if we're giving him this platform and rewarding him, you know, however good his work might be, I'm not denying that he's got talent, but we're kind of saying that this behaviour is acceptable in our society, and you know it's not. I think Hollywood at the moment is coming under scrutiny because of the whole Harvey Weinstein kind of stories, and Hollywood is now starting to put starting, you know, is the being the key word here, just about starting to kind of scrutinise their main actors a little bit more. And I think the same should be done with the music industry. You know, we shouldn't put these artists on pedestals. You know, we should hold them accountable.
Well, how about you, Jasper? Obviously, Dex's work this year, you know, his song Pick Up with ASAP Rocky, they clearly shows he should, on merit, be in the list. Do you think ethically it's okay to have him there?
It's a difficult question. I'm struggling, to be fair. Like, obviously I'm not condoning his actions, and I agree with your point that you maybe not. I mean, maybe you shouldn't make him an example for young kids growing up. But at the same time, the list isn't a moral list. It's about, like you said, it's on merit.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe you should be there.
That's the thing. I don't think this list. I think sometimes you do need to slightly distinguish between the artist and the art itself, because I think him himself, I guess you could say he's got he's done something really wrong, and you know rightfully he was told off by it and people have complained, but I think it'd be double standards to keep him off the list just because previously Meek Mill was on it, even though he'd had drug and gun charges, and other rappers have been on it. Kodak Black has had a very colourful background, to say the least. So I think sometimes you do have to distinguish between the artist and the art, and I think with this itself, I don't think it's an advert of the artist so much. I think it's of the music, and so in this regard, I think you could make an argument. I'm not saying he should be on it, but I think you can make an argument that he should be on it just because musically his work is merited this year.
Then where is the line? Like if he'd killed someone.
Well, that's the thing. I'm saying I'm not sure because I think she's the spokesperson last year who said he shouldn't be on it. Said that the reason behind it was the footage. However, she was happy for Meek Mill to be on there with gun charges. So I don't know where the hierarchy is. Do they need to release the hierarchy where say this is the line we're drawing? Because like gun and drug charges, they clearly would.
I think that's double standard though. I think like he shouldn't have been like if he was just dealing with that. I don't think he should have been on there either. Like I don't agree with that either.
Do you think it's okay to have a hierarchy of one crime but not the other?
I think there should definitely be consistency. I mean, you can't say. I mean, both are wrong. You can't say the one is less wrong than the other.
Yeah, I think what they should do is have a clear line and say either we're going to accept people and ignore their background, or anyone who has committed crimes, we're not going to accept them.
Yeah.
That way, it's clear. There's a line in the sand, and they can say if you want to be on this, you have to have a clean background as well.
Gives them a platform.
Exactly, because then it's becoming subjective.
Yeah, I think there just needs to be a consistency here, to be honest.
Exactly.
Because, it's an awards show. You can't just...
especially with an award this prestigious, like the XXL freshman list has been so important for so many rappers' careers. But you can tell us what you think. We'll have a Twitter poll up as well. Should Dex be on the list this year?
Hello?
Drake's been back in the news this week. He's released his new track, Drake, God's Plan. Guys, what do you think of Drake's God's Plan?
I mean, I know I just said about churches that I like their familiar sound. Didn't like it on this one though.
Right. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Double standards. I mean, there's a line in the sand.
Yeah,
it's right for one, but not the
I
other.
know. But I feel like at least the song, like churches, had some dynamicism in their songs, and Drake is just does the same thing all the way through. His previous album was like slightly, there was different influences. I think so. He shows that he can do it. Why not keep doing it?
Yeah, fair enough. How about you?
Yeah, I think they've just like played it safe, really. I think I like the background music, and I liked the music, the lyrics in the verses.
You still like him.
So like him, and also the chorus is like the chorus is not, the chorus is what kind of holds the song together. I just think the chorus really let the song down.
Really, I don't know. I'm not like a stan of Drake's, but I really liked it. I really like the drop when he goes, says, "Do you love me? I'll tell it only party." I
gotta
thought
sing
that was
it.
so
I love
sick.
that
I was
bit,
about to sing it, but
yeah.
I thought, no, this is gonna get leaked. I was like,
No, I like that.
I
That
like
was
that.
like, I really like
Yeah,
that.
that's
See that,
cool.
but that was the verse though. That wasn't the chorus.
I guess so. I don't know. What do you think Drake needs to do next then to freshen up? Because you guys keep saying formulaic. What does he need to do now then? Because he's done dancehall, he's done pop, he's done rap.
Challenge himself. Go further. Like, get out of your comfort zone. Like, what does Drake hate? Go do that.
Well, Drake has pushed boundaries. Only last year in his More Life album, he brought a lot of British up and coming artists in there. Dave was on there. He had Georgia Smith on there. So you know he's obviously representing that culture. What do you want to see him do now?
I see Drake do techno.
There we
That's
go.
what I
That's
wanna
the news. That is the news. Drake. There's a challenge if ever there was one. Well, why don't you guys tell us what you think about Drake's God's Plan? You can tell us on our website, and we'll also have a Twitter poll out there. Is he too formulaic now? Now for our new feature, Ones to Watch. So every year we're now going to be telling you who are big ones to watch for this year. Who's the big British London up and coming artist on the music scene that you need to know about? So Jasper, who do you want to know?
I'm going for Stereo Honey. It's sort of like an indie band. They've got some like spacey vibes in there. It's a bit melancholic. I think they did really well. They just got their EP out, Monument, with a single, The Bay, which is doing quite well. And they've been booked for the Great Escape Festival in Brighton.
Oh, okay, well, big things from Stereo Honey then. How about you? What's yours?
So I've gone for singer Bonzai. So she's from Dublin, but she's based in London. So I think she still counts.
Just about.
So she's like a mix of R&B and electro, which is what I really like because I think it's
Okay.
quite different. They're not usually two genres that go together.
Yeah.
She was a support act for Australian music producer Flume last year, and she's just been signed by Sony. And the song I would recommend is one of the last one she's just brought out. It's, I Feel Alright. It's quite catchy.
Okay.
It's quite sunny, which is quite nice for this time of year. It's quite happy. It's
Fair enough.
So what about you? Who would you recommend?
Well, my one is Mostak. He's someone who has been about a little bit, but he's more up and coming now because he hasn't got the right amount of recognition. And I think his name itself is better than Bonzai and Stereo Honey anyway, so that immediately puts him above them. Like they sound like children's bands. Bonzai and Stereo Honey. Like that's something on CBeebies you'd see. But Mostak, he's great. The single I'd really tell you guys to is it was, but the single I'd tell you guys to listen to is Murder. It's featuring
Murder.
Yeah, it's called Murder. With this whole new positive image we're trying to create. It's called Murder. But honestly, it's really clever. It's just it's actually about a girl and it's about love. It's not about actually violence. So don't hold that against him.
Your line in the sense.
Yeah, that's my line in sense, as long as it's not actually violent. But he's been on tracks with people like Dave, who we all are big fans of. He's a big new up and coming artist. If you don't know about him, check out Santan Dave as well. But yeah, check out Mostak, check out Bonzai, check out Stereo Honey. And then there'll be a poll online where you can tell us which one's best. Mostak, click right there, Mostak. But thanks for listening. This has been Lit London Latest, and hopefully we'll catch you next time.
See ya.
See ya.